Hi everyone, I'm Erica Joy Baino, and today I'm going to give you guys a quick walkthrough about the country assigned to me, which is the Central African Republic, using PESTLE analysis. But first, let's dive into the historical background of Central African Republic. Central African Republic is a landlocked country located in the center of Africa that is bordered by Sudan, Chad, Cameroon, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The area has been settled for at least 8,000 years and is now known as the Central African Republic. The earliest inhabitants were the probable ancestors of today's Aka, known as Pygmy peoples, who live in the western and southern forested regions of the country. The Central African Republic is one of the poorest countries. According to my research, the Central African Republic is the third poorest by gross domestic product or GDP, also known as capita, but it is the world's hungriest country with the 2018 Global Hunger Index or GHI indicating extremely alarming levels. The majority of the 5.4 million residents live at or below the poverty line, with a life expectancy of only 52.9 years. Now let's move on to the political factors. First is political instability. The slave state of Dar al-Kuti occupied the northern reaches until the various regions of the Central African Republic were brought under French colonial rule late in the 19th century. Colonial administrators favored some ethnic groups over others, resulting in political rivalries that persisted after independence in 1960. Since then, the government has been in chaos and people of their country are constantly fighting over who will be in charge. And in 2013, the latest president was forced to leave the position, and rebels took over the capital that led to their downfall. Next is government exerts effort to achieve peace and stability. Efforts by the government of the Central African Republic and international organizations to establish peace and stability in their country are ongoing, with peacekeeping missions and diplomatic initiatives. And lastly, international relations. Their relationship with the neighboring countries and global powers plays a crucial role in shaping their political landscape. Next is the economic factors. First is heavily relies on export commodities. As a resource-dependent economy, given that they heavily rely on export commodities, fluctuations in global commodity prices have a direct impact on the country's economic performance. Next is agricultural dependency. The majority of the population relies on agriculture for their livelihood. Most of the people there are farmers, growing what they need to survive, but the sector faces challenges such as low productivity, lack of infrastructure, and vulnerability to climate change. And lastly is low GDP. Central African Republic faces economic challenges including a low GDP per capita and with a high unemployment rate. Moving on to social factors. So the languages they speak are French and Sango. So French serves as the official language of the Central African Republic, and it is used in government, administration, education, media, and also in formal and official contexts, while Sango is the national language that is recognized as a language of communication among different ethnic groups. It is widely spoken among the population and it is used in everyday communication, which is also considered as their unifying language because it plays a crucial role in fostering a sense of national identity and unity. And while French is the primary language of instruction in formal education, there are efforts to promote the use of Sango in educational settings to preserve and celebrate the linguistic and cultural diversity of the country. And for their education, the education system in Central African Republic often uses French as a medium of instruction in schools and universities because the Central African Republic was colonized by France in the 19th century. Many children in the Central African Republic, particularly in rural areas, have limited access to formal education. Factors such as a lack of infrastructure, teacher shortages, and economic constraints contribute to this issue. In addition, not all students have a strong command of French, especially in rural areas where local languages like Sango are more commonly spoken, and this language barrier affects or hinders them from educational opportunities. And for the religions, Christianity, Islam, and native faiths are the three most popular. And the currency used here is the Central African CFA franc. And just a little trivia, our 1 peso is equivalent to 10.83 Central African CFA franc, and 1 US dollar is 600.31 CFA franc to them, which is a really big difference. So moving on to the technology factor, they have a limited technology infrastructure. So limited technology infrastructure poses challenges for economic development. Investments in technology and telecommunications can enhance connectivity and economic growth. And next is lack of internet access. Addressing disparities in access to and use of technology is crucial for ensuring that the benefits of technological advancements are distributed equitably. Legal factors. Weak legal institutions and governance. In the Central African Republic, the way laws are enforced and how the government works have been difficult. Leaders sometimes change in ways that cause them problems. And there's been a lot of fighting, making it hard for the government to do its job well. So the rules aren't always strong or clear, and some people in power might use their positions for personal gain instead of helping everyone. There's also a problem with not having enough money or tools for the people who enforce the laws. That makes it slow to bring justice. And all these boils down to making the legal system and how the country runs not very strong nor effective. And lastly, environmental factors. The country is mostly grassy savannas, but also contains dense rainforests. So most forest elephants and lowland gorillas live here more than almost any other place in Africa. Their continued initiatives to promote environmental conservation and sustainable resource management are vital for the long-term environmental health. And here are my references. Thank you for listening.